Hey guys, Comic Uno, and today I am doing my 4th ever back issue review, and I made you guys vote out of 5 comic books which one you would want me to review. I had 5 comic books, and the winner was What If? Issue 105, which is the first appearance of Spider-Girl, and I gotta say I was rooting for this one this round. I definitely wanted to review this because this is really one of my most favorite comic books, and Spider-Girl is my favorite superhero. So I definitely wanted to review this one. I haven't done a lot of Spider-Girl reviews on this channel, so definitely want to talk about it. And let's start the review. Hopefully you guys could see why I like this character so much with this issue, because I'll be talking about this character a lot. So let's see what happened in this issue. Let's talk about the cover first, though. For me, this cover is so iconic just because it's used so much with Spider-Girl. Because, again, this is the first ever cover for Spider-Girl. This is, like, who is the next generation of Spidey excitement starts here. Like, who is Spider-Girl, you know? So definitely, I love this cover. It's so iconic for me. Maybe for you guys it might not be. But definitely, it made me excited, and it's awesome. Love it. So, awesome cover. And also has Tom DeFalco and Ron Frenz as a creative team, and they are one of my favorite creative teams, probably are my favorite creative team. So let's see what's going on. First, we have in the beginning of this, we have a little explanation of like what happened in this kind of universe, the MC2. So I think this actually helps a lot for people who might not know Spider-Girl that much. So definitely read this part. It makes the cover look a little shorter than it is. It gets a little cut off, but it's definitely worth it. So let's talk about the issue, though. Let's see what happened. Now, May, in the beginning of this issue, is playing a basketball game, and really, her life is normal and kind of perfect. She has a good life, good parents, good friends, and she's pretty popular, kind of like Mary Jane. And even though she's popular, she's still a nice person, and she's still she's not just friends with popular people, she's friends, with the science nerds also. So she's trying to pick, like, who her friends should be, because these two circles don't really fit, Science club and, the basketball team and football players, they don't fit. So she's still trying to find her place in high school. But she's pretty popular, She is the star on the basketball team. And then she's starting to develop her superpowers, her spider powers. And Mary Jane and Peter are a little worried about this because they're like, oh, is that, no normal human being could do that. No one could jump that high. So, Peter and MJ are kind of worrying because they had a perfect life, too, for these 13 years. They had perfect life. She's not 13, she's 15, but when she was 2, Spider-Man, quit being Spider-Man. Peter quit being Spider-Man. So, for 13 years, they've had a perfect life. And they're like, something they have been worrying about is that if May would get her powers. Because they never told May that she was the daughter of Spider-Man, and she's in the dark with that, because they're like, why do we have to make her worry, There's no point to make her worry about our past. It was over and done with. Spider-Man's dead, The reason they say Spider-Man's dead because they had a final battle, Spider-Man and Green Goblin, where Green Goblin died and Peter lost his leg. So that was really the death of Spider-Man. Not the death of Peter, but the death of Spider-Man. So that's why he quit, being Spider-Man. He became a forensic scientist for the cops, for the police, and he had an enjoyable life, just being a father, taking a breath of fresh air, So they're worrying that Spider-Girl's getting her powers, and of course, this is not the biggest problem. Because Normie Osborn, the grandson of Norman Osborn, the son of Harry Osborn, wants revenge. He's like, my dad, my my dad and my grandfather had to die. Like, why can't Spider-Man die? So he wants to start a Goblin in the Spidey War. So also, the reason this really starts is because his mother, Liz Allen, who's a very popular, in the beginning of high school, for Spider-Man character. She was a popular character back then. So, he's getting angry about this. Like, everything's going bad in my life. It's all Spider-Man's fault. So now, like I said, May is developing her power. She learns she is the daughter of Spider-Man. And she's kind of mad, but she still thinks, she has this responsibility with these powers. But, it took a while for Spider-Man to learn, which I'll talk about that a little after this review. But now, so Normie wants to, defeat Spider-Man. So they go to the bridge, where Gwen Stacy died. And Normie's like, oh, you should have been dressing up as Spider-Man. Because Peter says, I'm done with Spider-Man. Spider-Man's not alive. But, since May finds out about her past, she finds Ben Riley's costume, she puts it on, and she tries to save the day, even though she's, like, very clumsy with her powers. She tries to save the day, and she does. Even though she's not good at it, she saves the day, and then again, they're like, no one ever mentions Spider-Girl, no one in the family. Peter doesn't mention it, MJ doesn't mention it, no one mentions Spider-Girl, and they burn the suit, and that's the end. But is it the end? Because she starts drawing, just like Pete usually does, starts drawing web shooters and a costume, and it says the end, the question mark. This was supposed to be the end of Spider-Girl, but really Spider-Girl lasted 130 plus issues. She is the longest running female character series, and her story continued because the fans really loved this story, and they needed more from the end of this issue. Like, this can't end, and that, like, you could really get a great feel of this whole universe from this issue. You get great supporting characters with a lot of comics. They do really bad. They always forget the supporting characters, or they just have no supporting characters, and they don't have strong supporting characters. But with Spider-Girl, I have to say, I think is one of the strongest supporting characters ever. We got characters like Davida, Courtney Duran, who are friends of Spider-Girl. And really, you can see, and to tell you the truth, these supporting characters also change so much, in the beginning of this issue, you saw, like I said from the beginning of this review, I said that these two groups, the science nerds and the basketball team, never really met. They weren't in the same social circle, and May was kind of in the middle of that because she wanted to be friends with both of them. But really, Courtney, who's part of the science club, becomes friends with the football team and all of that. So, like, all these characters kind of become friends with each other, and they just change so much. Courtney in the beginning of this is a total different character than she is in the end of this series. Same for, well, I mean, not Davida. I think she's a character that hasn't really changed that much. But Moose, who's the big, pretty much asshole in this beginning of the series, changed to be a big fat teddy bear and becomes Courtney Duran's boyfriend. But so, like, all these supporting characters, Spider-Man, MJ, Peter and MJ, they become characters that you wanted to see. You wanted to see them as a mother and father, and you get to see that in their own twists of these characters. You get to see that this is Peter and MJ, but they're taking different roles, and they are father and mother, and they just work so well together. And you don't get to see Spider-Man, you don't get to see Peter and MJ together, and with this, you get to see them together, and that's something I also love. You get to see how they're happily ever after, because not a lot of people in this universe have a happily ever after. Even in this issue, they mentioned, oh yeah, like Daredevil died, I'm hoping Spider-Man has his happily ever after, and he does have his happily ever after. In his own way, he does. Also, we get to see Normie Osborn, a character that has developed so much through this series, and this is another supporting character that's just developed so much. In this first issue, you get to see he's freaking crazy. In the end, when he's getting captured by Spider-Girl, when he's going to jail, pretty much, going wherever he's going, he says, "Hey there goes the Spider-Girl, my little brown-eyed Spider-Girl. She does one heck of a spider twirl." Like, he's going crazy. He doesn't even know what the hell he's saying. He's just going in, He's a freaking nut job in this. You can see that. All he wants to do is kill Spider-Man, and that's it. That's his only motive. He has all these tattoos on the back of his, back. Everywhere he has these tattoos dedicated to kill Spider-Man. That's his thing. But, with an issue in Spider-Girl, I'm gonna spoil it a little, we get to see Normie become one of May's best friends and help May, and become, again, like a bigger brother to May. And just his character changes so much. And just because, May and Normie were big enough people to stop this Spider and Goblin Wars, like, what's the point, So that's another big thing with his character. And also we get to see with May, like I was saying in the beginning of this review, I know this is so long of this review, I have so much to talk about. Like I said in the beginning of this review, May, I think, takes up, with great power comes great responsibility, even before Peter does. Like, when she starts getting her powers, like, I have a responsibility to do this, right? When she sees these web shooters, she's like, I have a responsibility, I need to help. Let me see where she says it. I can't find. Oh, here it is. She says, even if Normie hadn't gone crackers, the emergence of my powers would have been a dead giveaway. Besides, you can't save someone from who she is or from the responsibility she shares. Right when she sees those web shooters in costume, she's like, I have a responsibility. You shouldn't hide these powers from me because this is my responsibility. But it took Peter's uncle to die to show that, wow, I have responsibilities with these powers. But with May, she just knew, you know? And also in the end, we get to see her big thing through this whole entire series, no one dies. And in this end of this thing, you know, Green Goblin's all, after this battle, he's all confused and dizzy, and he doesn't know where he's going because he falls out of the sky because he gets exploded by one of his pumpkin bombs. So he goes into the middle of the street in front of a truck. Now, Spider-Girl could have ended this Goblin War by Green Goblin dying, but she's like, no, I can't do that. You know, this is my responsibility. No one dies on my watch, and that's her big thing. So definitely, I love this issue. I love this series, and again, this is one of my favorite issues. I've probably read this issue a billion times. I haven't read it in my What If. I have like all the trades for Spider-Girl. So I think I have the Spider-Girl trades I've read a billion times over and over again. This series I think I've read more than any other comic book series ever. But definitely, this series is just, I love how this world is, it's its own, you know? And like I said, the characters from issue 1, these supporting characters from issue 1 are just great, and I love how they all develop, and even Spider-Girl develops. In this first issue, you get to see how different Spider-Girl is from the last issue. Spider-Girl in this first issue is not sure of herself at all. She's like, what am I doing here, you know? And when she's as Spider-Girl, she's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just trying to do my best and try to survive. But she's very good at acting. She's very good at, like, tricking people and just showing that, yeah, I know what I'm doing, but she has no idea. She's nervous as hell, and she has no idea what she's doing. But I love how much she changed because as this series goes on, a lot of the time she's like, I'm not sure of myself. I can't, you know, be as good as my father. I can't be as good as all these heroes. I'm not the best hero. But as this series develops, you can see she gets more confidence, you know, and that's how she changes a lot with that. And just with this first issue, like say 10 issues from now, she changes so much as a character. So definitely, if you haven't been reading Spider-Girl ever, I recommend you to read it. And I know I said I was going to have an in-depth analysis. I hope you guys liked it. It was very long, this review. I definitely want to get a good in-depth analysis with this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll have another back issue review next month, and hopefully I'll get another Spider-Girl issue in the back issue bundle another time. But tell me in the comments below if you are interested in the character, what you liked about this issue, what I was saying, because I really would like to know if you like Spider-Girl or not, because she definitely is my favorite character. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and this is Comic Uno. Bye guys, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. On Comic Uno and Random Situations, description below, there'll be a link for both. See you guys.